This is going to be our Sony Vegas tutorial today, and we're going to use it, to train how to do a basic church video, a simple one with one talking head, a person, a preacher, something like that. I'm going to start a new project just so we can start totally from scratch, and I'm going to go new, and then I'm going to pick a project that's going to be HD 1080 60i, which is 1920 by 1080 and around 29.970 frames per second, or you can call it 30 frames per second. And that's my project. And so I come up with a new project, and then I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to navigate down to Import, and then go to Media. When I go to Media, then it will want to select a file from the desktop, and so I'll go to the desktop and I will pick the folder that I had everything in, which was whatever I named it. I could name it just import folder or whatever. Then I'll get in there and I will select all those files that I put in there for use in this editing project. So I'll open that up. Once I select it using the Vegas selection tool in Sony Vegas. And I want to point out right now we are using Sony Vegas. The reason we're using, it's actually now Magix Vegas. I'm probably going to do one on Premiere in a little bit, but it seems like Vegas is a lot easier to learn. And so once we've imported the files, we see that they're up here in the top left-hand corner. So that's all the files that I need to do this project. Now the first thing I want to start with is this file here, which is the introduction. And so I'm going to take that introduction and drag it down to the desktop. And then it'll ask me if I want to match this to the project, but I don't want to match it to the project because this project I'm doing is an HD 1080i, and I'm bringing in a 4K media. And so I'm planning on producing the whole thing in HD instead of 4K. That'll be a lot of extra work and time if we go to 4K. So I'm not going to check that box that says match to the video settings of the imported video. And so I'm going to go no. And then that brings it in. And so here's my file. All right. Now I'm going to play through, and it will be a little sluggish because it's a 4K going into HD on a computer that doesn't have as much power as it needs for 4K, but it will still edit 4K. Now, if you look over here at the audio, you saw it was going into the red. That's too high. So I want to bring down the audio a little bit. So I'll grab this little button on the top of the audio track, and I'll drag it down to get it right about there. Let's see if it's the right level now. Still a little loud, and so I'm going to take it down a little more. And so there you go. And that's still a little loud. I want to take it down just a little bit more because I want it to be where it's just barely peaking the yellow on the audio meters. The other thing I'm noticing is if you look at this picture here in the main monitor, you'll see there's some black at the top and black at the bottom. And well, that means we imported a dimensionally incorrect, your aspect ratio is not correct because the one I imported has a wider aspect than the project I'm taking it into. So to fix that, what I want to do is go over here to this little symbol that looks like two little corners put together, and I'm going to click on it, and that's at the end of the video part of the track. And then I'm going to go here to maintain aspect. Once this window comes up, a window will come up that says Video Event FX, and then you'll scroll down on the left hand side and you'll click yes, and then you'll click no. And when you click no, what that does is it makes the image fit to the screen. So that's what you'll see when that pops up. You may not be seeing it now. I'll have to put it up later. And so what I'm also looking at is when I scrub through this, I see that we reach a certain point and video goes away. Now what's happening here? This introduction file was set up so we would have the video cut out, and then we would put in the video of the person that we were recording above it, but we could still have the music playing under. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to scrub back until where the video just appears. See, that's where the video just appears, right there. I want to go back into black just a little bit. So there's no more. I'm looking at the display on the histogram here. This is a vector scope, waveform monitor, and histogram. This line shows me that we've got a little bit of video. And so I'm going to scrub back to where that disappears. Or just disappears. Right there. And then maybe just find it where it's just about to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to this little symbol, which is the ignore event grouping. What that says is we're going to disassociate the video from the audio. So I can move the video track independently of the audio track. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to hit I'm going to then highlight the video track, and then I'm going to hit split. And so now that I've split the video track and we're not using the black area, I'm going to go to the middle of that track and go. When I right mouse click on this, the pop-up window will appear, and I'm going to click cut. And so now I have my video and the music at the beginning, and then I have music under. Okay? So now we want to move down a little bit more. I'm going to go down here to the bottom left corner, and I'm going to drag this to the left, and that'll give me some more space over here to the left side of the image. So the next element that's going to go in is the actual body of the program. And you see it's called 00014MTS, which means that's an MP4 that was recorded on the camera. So I'm going to take that and drag it down to the middle. Okay? And so we'll go over here and look at that one. Now I'll start playing it.
2. Well, good morning.
Okay, so we'll go right here to just before you can see the waveform where he's talking, right here. And I'm going to unclick this Disassociate button. And then I'm going to hit the arrow buttons on my keyboard, the ones at the bottom, right, left, up, and down. I went the right arrow just a little bit to give me a little black ahead of the time that he starts. And I'm going to hit the S button, and we split the area where he wasn't doing anything. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to then cut that out. And then over here you see there's only one audio track. There's only one audio track. So I'm going to, again, right mouse click on the audio, and then a pop-up window will come up. And I'm going to scroll up to say where it says channel, and I'm going to then go down to left only, and that will put the left only, which is all we have on both right and left speakers. I'm going to come over here, and what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to go up here to insert, and I'm going to go down to the pop-up window appears, and we're going to go down to add a video track. And I'm also going to go insert, and I'm going to go add an audio track. So now I have a video track above and an audio track below. And I want to take the audio of the audio under that we got with the introduction. I'm going to grab that clip and drag it straight down. So even though we're on two different tracks, what I'm doing is when I play this, you won't hear any change in the audio because it's matching audio on two different tracks, and when it goes to where the video cuts off, it'll keep playing the bottom part. You want to make sure and play that so you hear no difference. Okay? And so, let's go over here, and we'll bring our body of the program in, and we will butt it right up to the intro. And so what I want to do to make it a little bit more professional is I'm going to go over to the upper left-hand corner of this body track, and I'm going to drag it over and make a little fade going in. So when it plays, instead of him just cutting in, it's going to fade in.
Well, good morning, Crossroads.
That looks so much better. Now the other thing we're noticing here is that the audio is too loud. Now we want the audio under to fade out and not bother the actual spoken audio that we have on this already. And so I'm going to listen. I'm going to go here and I'm going to mute the audio under and just listen, and we're going to look for it.
Well, good morning.
What we're going to look for is a key point that we want to fade out that deals with what he's saying.
Well, good morning, Crossroads family, church. I'm so glad I'm here, and all of those of you that are watching, maybe for the first time, I want to welcome you to Crossroads today. I'm Pastor Bob Barker of Crossroads Community Church right here in Dallas, Texas. And I'm so thankful that we have this opportunity to spend just a few minutes together, not a long time, but I do want to let you know some important things that I believe will help you in your life every single day. I want you to know that I'm praying for you, your family, and your friends and co-workers. I know these are challenging times. Challenging because they challenge our faith in God and what we believe.
Okay.
And what.
So right there when he says what we believe, that's a good ending point for the audio under. But what I also noticed was his audio level was a little high. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to drag this down a little bit, and we'll listen to the audio and make sure the levels.
I want you to know that
correct.
I'm praying for you, your family.
Still down just a hair. Right there.
I want you to know that I'm praying for you,
Take it up
your family, and your friends and co-workers. I know these are challenging times. Challenging because they challenge our faith in God and what we believe and what we believe about God. I think it's important.
Okay, so that's our out point. Then I'm going to go here and unmute the second track, and I'm going to highlight the second track and hit split. Then I'm going to discard the remainder we're not using by hitting cut. I'm going to click on it and a window popped up and I hit cut. And now what we're going to do is we want to gradually fade the audio out. The way you do that is you go over here on this audio track we want to fade in, and there's something that says volume over here to the far left, and I want to right mouse click. A window will pop up and it says insert remove envelope, and then when I click on the insert remove envelope, another window appears and I click on volume. And you notice what happened when we did that is this line appeared. Okay, now what that line does is it allows us to plot volume control points on this audio so that we can gradually taper the audio level down. I'm going to right mouse click on here and it makes a pop-up window, and we just go add point, and then I'm going to go right here a little bit further down and make another one, and it pops up and I'm going to click on add point again. Then once I have these 2 points, I'm going to start dragging this one down. Okay, I want it down in this area so it's not interfering with what he's saying. If I go here to the other end, and I'm going to add another point with that drop-up window that you don't see right now. I'm going to bring a picture up. Okay, and so we're going to go and we're going to watch how it plays out.
Well, good morning, Crossroads family, church. I'm so glad I'm here, and all of those of you that are watching, maybe for the first time, I want to welcome you to Crossroads today. I'm Pastor Bob Barker of Crossroads Community Church right here in Dallas, Texas. And I'm so thankful that we have this opportunity to spend just a few minutes together, not a long time, but I do want to let you know some important things that I believe will help you in your life every single day. I want you to know that I'm praying for you, your family, and your friends and co-workers. I know these are challenging times. Challenging because they challenge our faith in God and what we believe and what we believe about God and what we believe about.
Now you see what I did there. Right at that point, the audio music under is totally gone. So now we've got the main track inserted on the system, and there's a little bar on the bottom. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it to the right. What that does is that brings more time on the timeline. It gives me more time to see things. So everything's still here. I still have the original intro track or intro video, and then I have the body video, and now I want to add the end video. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move over here toward the end. So I'm grabbing the left side of this bar at the bottom. I'm moving toward the end, and I'm going to go out of here some free space, and I want to bring in my close track. That means the ending of the show. And so what we're seeing here is same thing. It starts in black, and then it's reversed. The other one had the video and then black, and the track at the end has black and then video, so we can still have audio under. And so I'm going to go here until I see video. Now I'm going to do a little bit different just to show you another way. I'm going to click the Disassociate button on the bottom. I'm going to highlight the video above, and I'm going to hit Split, and then I'm going to cut out of that. I want to hit Cut on the pop-up window, and now we have these two disassociated. We just have our video in the upper right-hand corner, and we have a long audio track. Let's go to our body track.
Would love to come and join.
Let's go to our body video, our main video.
Would love for you to come and join us at Crossroads Community Church. God bless you, and hope to see you next week.
Okay, so I want to cut off the end where he's not talking. So I'll find that point, and I'll hit Split, and I will put my mouse on top of these two clips. Well, first I'll reassociate them down here at the bottom, that little symbol down at the bottom, right here, where it says Ignore Event Grouping, and that would be this very last symbol on all these symbols at the very bottom. So I'm clicking that. Now I'm going to cut the end of the main video off, just so that we won't have all that time there. Now in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the audio straight down, and then I'm going to bring it here, and then we can bring this one over here and butt it up, butt the videos up together. And you see how the audio went pink? Well, I want to move it back to where it's clear again. So now it doesn't have a discoloration. That means they're synced up again. And so I'm going to go on the main track up in the upper right hand corner and put a dissolve in. And then I'm going to play this out to see how it works.
And joining us here at Crossroads today, I'm Pastor Bob Barker, Crossroads Community Church pastor and founder, and I want to let you know that we love you, and when this is over, we would love for you to come and join us at Crossroads Community Church. God bless you, and hope to see you next week.
Okay, so there, we're going to go here again to the video, and then I'm going to pick this Event Pan Crop tool, which is what looks like two little corners. I'm going to click it, and then a window pops up and it says Maintain Aspect, and I'm going to go No. There's a lot of choices in the left-hand side of the window. I'm just going to pick No to maintain aspect, and that will give me that will get rid of the black at the top and the bottom of this image. And so let's take a look at that again.
We love you, and when this is over, we would love for you to come and join us at Crossroads Community Church. God bless you, and hope to see you next week.
Okay, so now we're going to work on the audio. The audio here, you see there's a red line. So I'm going to go, this looks like a good, maybe over here. I'm looking at the audio waveforms, and you see you want to start at a break in the audio waveform. So I'm going to go here, and I want to make a point. I'm going to click on that point and go Add Point, and there's a point inserted. And then I'm going to go here to the end of it, and on the red line, now at the bottom, I'm going to go Add Point. I'm going to take that point and drag it over where it meets just below the end of his audio. Then I'm going to make another point, and we're going to take the audio up to the normal level right in here somewhere. And then I'm going to take this one and drag it up and give it a slow audio taper right in here. So let's see how it works now.
Just navigate over to the crossroadscommunitychurch.us homepage, and right there on the left-hand side, you'll see a button that says Sign In. And when you do, it'll take you to the Givelify page, and again, you can give whatever you'd like. $2, $3, it doesn't matter. Whatever you'd like to give would be
See how
great.
the audio's starting to come up now?
So I want to thank you again for coming today and joining us here at Crossroads today.
That made the body of our program. And always remember, as you're editing, hit the save button. You don't want to have something come up and make it where you did all that work and you lost it all. And so I'm going to call this test, and I'm saving it. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to go over here where we have some space, and we're going to bring in this right here in the upper left hand corner. This is a PowerPoint that has been converted to video, so I'm going to drag it down to here. So here's our PowerPoint, and what we're going to do is we're going to splice this up into changes. And so I'm going to scrub through this video file and look for a change. Okay, here's a change here. And I look for the white area in between, or the black area, and I just hit split and I cut that clip. Now you don't have to have it perfect because you can adjust it. You're going to end up adjusting it when you match it to the main track. And then I'm going to scrub a little bit more to the right. And then I'm going to click it again. And then I'm going to scrub a little bit more to the right. And find where it separates. Go in between the two and hit split. And I'm going to do that for every slide in this video, this PowerPoint video that we brought in. So we don't need a title slide, so I'm going to cut that out. Now we have this one. It says John 13, 34 through 35. Well, I know that that's going to be at the beginning of the show. So what I'm going to do is, I want to drag. I can get these and drag them all over. And actually, what I could do is there's a button here at the bottom that's called Auto Ripple. And you could turn that on, and it means when I start dragging the first one, everything behind it's going to follow. I can go both directions. And so that keeps all these working files near where I need them. Some people would actually chop them all up in another window, but I find this just as easy. And so what we're looking for now is where he's going to say something about John 13, 34, 35. And so I'm going to start here and listen through.
But we've got to keep our faith in Him, our trust going forward, Jesus, because that is an important part of our lives as believers. Over there in John 13, verses 34 and 30.
So right here, he starts to talk about over there in John 13, which is the clip we're wanting to put the slide above. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit the positive button the plus button at the bottom right hand corner of the timeline, and I'm going to expand, and it will expand around where I have the mouse cursor, or not the mouse cursor, but the playhead. It will expand around the playhead that we have here. And so we're going to play, and see, look at your audio waveforms at the bottom. They tell you where to start.
An important part of our lives as believers. You know, over there.
Okay, right here is where he begins to say over there in John. And so I'm going to take this slide, and I'm going to slide it over to the playhead. And now I'm going to grab the right hand corner of it and drag it to the right, and so we get to the white area. See, I'm sizing it to get rid of the previous slide and just bringing, this is a slide that has motion in it, so I want to start at the very beginning. And so I trimmed this slide by grabbing the right hand side, and it says trim event slide when you put the cursor on it, and you want to drag it over to begin at the beginning of this audio waveform. And then you want to fade it a little bit. So let's see how that works. And so I'm going to hit play.
Because that is an important part of our lives as believers. You know, over there in John 13, verses 34 and 35, it says, "A new commandment I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one."
What happened here is the slide on the video was too short to fit. And what I can do in Vegas is I can hit the control button and then grab the right hand side of the clip and drag it. And you'll see a little squiggly line appear in the middle here. What I'm doing is I'm doing a slow motion effect. Well, this is a slide, so you're not going to notice slow motion. But what that does is that allows you to expand the slide so that you can have it long enough to cover what he's saying. And I'm going to have to go up here and compensate for the fade in because that expanded that too. So now we'll go over here.
You know, over there in John 13, verses 34 and 35, it says, "A new commandment I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." See, that really is our goal, isn't it? To love.
Okay, so it comes out here in this little silent area right in here. So I'm going to drag this clip and I'm going to bring it over to that point, and I'm going to fade it out. Okay, and here we go. I'm going to play through to see how it looks.
You know, over there in John 13, verses 34 and 35, it says, "A new commandment I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another."
Okay, so what we did there was we took a video slide clip, and we then sized it by doing a function of control and then grabbing the side of the clip to the right and dragging it. That is how you would make it a slow motion clip, but if it's just a static slide, it just makes it longer. And so I sized this clip using that. I matched it to the audio waveform at the bottom so it had perfect ins and outs. And then that allowed me to put that one slide at the right place on the timeline. Now I, take the video that was generated by the PowerPoint and I chop it up, and you'll have maybe 10 different slides in this show. And so we'll have to match all of these just like we did for this one, with all of those ones that we're putting at the appropriate place on the timeline. Now another thing I wanted to tell you about, so you have to get that all done. We're going to go over here, and he talks about a YouTube.
It's important that we encourage each other. We also have a YouTube channel that has hundreds of our Sunday.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you how to add text. And so what we've got a point here on the timeline where he's inviting people to go to a YouTube channel that the church has. So what I would do is I'd go into the open video track above, I would right mouse click, and then I would go insert. Window pops up and go insert text media. Then a window will pop up and you'll see it says sample text. Well, what I want to do is there's a drop down window and it's at 48. I'm going to take it to about 12. So that makes it, big enough to be text under with him talking. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in church YouTube URL. So you would go and you'd find out what the church YouTube URL was. And then I would go down lower in this media text generator window that popped up. I'm going to click one that says location on the left. And then I'm going to drag the text down below him. Okay, and that looks pretty good. But to make it better, I'm going to stick in a drop shadow. And so you click on the drop shadow. And then what I've learned is that it comes up at 2, but when there's something called a shadow blur, and when I take that down, you find that actually it's too far to the black under the black shadow is too far away from the actual text to look good. So I go and I do the shadow offset to usually 0.01 on both X and Y, and then I activate it. And so what I want to do, you can see there's a little black underneath there. So I'm going to go with the top, the X. I'm going to go here and I'm going to make it a 0.1 instead of a 0.2. And then I'm going to go to the Y. I'm going to make it 0.1 instead of 0.2. And click the check at the... Okay, when you've reached the end of your project, what you want to do is you want to go to the very end of the project and hit O for out. Go to the very beginning of the video on your project. Go to I for enter. Insert or in. So you go in and out, and that selects the area on the timeline that we're going to render. So you go to File, a window pops up. You go to Render As. And when you click Render As, a window will pop up. And I am using Main Concept ABC AAC. I select Internet HD, and then I name it in the name window, and then I hit Render, and it will make the video that I can take to YouTube or whatever. If you have an earlier version of Vegas, you may need to use, instead of using Main Concept ABC, you will use Sony ABC. And Sony ABC has export for internet function. Thank you.